There we go. Okay, so welcome everybody to Development Day Winter 2022. My name is Carolina Forero. I am faculty in the Transitional Studies Division, and I'm also your faculty coordinator for this academic year. I'm excited and I'm a little nervous to be your MC today, but I think it's going to be a great day. So before we get started, let's see, can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you. So yeah, I think Jesse just shared this, and then don't forget to sign in. You can do that in the Canvas shell. There is a link for you to sign your name. So especially if you're a part-time faculty, you can get your stipend. Next slide. Thank you. So before we get started, I'll begin our gathering today by reading the land acknowledgement. On behalf of Seattle Central College, I acknowledge the land on which we stand today as the traditional home of the Coast Salish people, the traditional home of all tribes and bands within the Duwamish, Suquamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations. Without them, we would not have access to this gathering and to this dialogue. I ask that we take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land who are still here. And in the to sort of reflect a little bit about what this means, we want to share a video with you. It's a trailer to a documentary that was made in 2016. And unfortunately, a lot hasn't changed. This documentary is about thinking about what it means to be a Duwamish member, and the fact that they're not federally recognized and what it means to be federally recognized, given the historical context of our country. So we just want to share this video with you. And as you watch it, just reflect on the land acknowledgement that we just read and what that means to us individually and our responsibilities, and what it means to us as a college community. Jesse, do you mind playing the video? Thank you.
The struggle for identity is not to regain it, but to be able to claim it openly. I know of no other racial group in the United States that has to prove who they are. Whatever a person claims to be, most folks just simply take them at their word. And yet, if you say you're American Indian, you've got to prove it.
Today, people want to say, oh, this was so long ago, get over it, whatever it is.
What exactly is the it that you're wanting people to get over? Is it colonialism? Because that's still going on.
They say, well, where are your people? Well, the promise of the treaties was never given to our people. And I say to anybody, our people are still here. Even though you don't see them, we're still here.
I want my country to be better. I want my country to be the country I imagine it should be, and to correct historical injustices.
The measure of what a tribe is, sadly, in the minds of many Americans, is whether the United States says it is.
But because we're not federally recognized, they look down on us.
Our families, have continued to suffer.
We are watching our people die, and die in mass, in between the starting and ending of these processes that ultimately have got us nowhere. This has to stop.
Recognition is a leap forward in preserving your people. It is an acknowledgement of the sovereignty of your tribal government.
This is an obligation that we're carrying from our ancestors.
And these are the people that fight. Men and women, they fight for this recognition because we are not gone. We are still here.
I hope that this will be a stepping stone for all tribes who struggle, trying to prove who they are.
It is the righteous fight.
It is important to understand this is the land our Creator gave us and promised us. And it is our responsibility to make sure that we can walk with our heads held high upon it.
Thank you. And then we're going to read the labor acknowledgement, which was provided by our AFT, and it was adapted from Bellevue College and UW Tacoma. We pause to remember that our country is built on the labor of enslaved people who were kidnapped and brought to the US from the African continent, and we recognize the continuing contributions of their survivors. We acknowledge all immigrant labor, including voluntary, trafficked, coerced, and undocumented. The people who contributed to the building of this country and who continue to serve in our formal and informal labor force today. We honor all underpaid workers and unpaid caregivers, students and staff, and the invisible labor of women and faculty of color in our educational systems. It is our collective responsibility to critically interrogate our histories, to repair harm, and to honor, protect, and sustain all workers. Thank you. Let's go to the next slide. So this is our overview for the day. From 9 to 10, we're gonna have a remarks by President Dr. Yoshiko Hardin, and then a student panel. Last development day was great, and I'm really excited about the one today. Then we'll take a quick 5-minute break, and then from 10 to 11:30, we have a keynote with Dr. Polokorski. Then from 11:30 to 12:30, there's a lunch on your own, and there's also a cross-union solidarity meeting. Then we'll be back here in the same link at 12:30 for a student success gallery, and you'll get to see what's been happening in the different guided pathways groups and how just their progress. And Kate will give more of an overview of that. And then from 2 to 4, you'll have division and department meetings. So the link from 12:30 to 1:45 is the same link as today. You can find all of those on the Canvas shell in the program. Thank you. Next slide. So now I think I will pass it off to Dr. Yoshiko Hardin.
Thank you, Carolina, great job. It's funny how you can be nervous talking to your colleagues. I get nervous too. Good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to be here. And I just have a few remarks to just, from me, but to just kind of set my own context for the day. So thank you for the opportunity. Of course, I want to give a big welcome and shout out. I was trying to think of who I wanted to shout out in the chat. And just for all of us that are just holding it down for each other, our colleagues, for students, for our families. You know, I always say everyone's going through something and fighting an unseen battle that we don't know, and yet we still show up and come to work every day. And so I am as well. And so I'm happy to be here. But PD is one of my favorite days, and it has been for my entire higher ed career. It provides a space for us to participate as learners, an opportunity to hear from colleagues and their expertise. We can be in community, even through Zoom. Today, we have a phenomenal opportunity to hear and learn from Dr. Paul Gorski, someone whose work influenced me since, I started in this field in 2001, teaching College 100 to students of color, and I used his multicultural awareness quiz as one of the teaching lessons for the students, and I taught that course for 9 years. For the past couple of years, we have focused our Professional Development Day content on guided pathways. And I know people have different kind of levels of familiarity. Some are very intimately involved in guided pathways via work groups or program mapping and retreats. Some folks are part of the lead team, the leadership structure. But at Central, we've adopted guided pathways grounded in racial equity and anti-racism. And I know some people are a little suspicious of change. And that's good. And we need those voices involved in this process, because that will help us come to a better outcome. So one of my messages is to encourage you to get involved. It can be get involved lightly, get involved in a work group, but we need your voice, your perspective, and your subject matter expertise. A new development for me in my interim role as president is I was recently asked by Dr. Pam to serve as the executive sponsor for Guided Pathways across the colleges and the district. So this means I will be taking more of a formal role as interim president and helping to support Guided Pathways across Seattle colleges, but also informing the leadership structure, our priorities moving forward, and just trying to bring kind of the teams together across Central, North, South, and the district. This is a phenomenal opportunity for us as Central to take the lead on anti-racism and racial equity efforts in Guided Pathways. This is a good thing in my view. Our impact can be much larger and at scale. So I'm excited. I don't know quite what this is going to look like moving forward, but I wanted to share with the college community that this is a new development in my role. So you will be hearing, if you thought you hadn't heard much about Guided Pathways, we are going to be hearing a lot more at Central. I think it's important for all of us to keep in mind, early adopters and skeptics, that Guided Pathways is not an initiative or a flash in the pan kind of framework. It is the student success framework that we have adopted along with the other 33 community and technical colleges as our student success effort. So I think that's really important because I know we all have initiative fatigue. So I want to take that word initiative out, and this is it. And of course, as we know in adaptive leadership, that change is difficult, and all change brings loss, even change we want, right? And so I was skeptical of Guided Pathways initially and did many readings and kind of thought, I'm not so into this. And as I learned more and the ability for us to kind of set our own agenda around student success, I believe in the model, and I believe in the model we have adopted for Central, but it's not going to be easy. So please join the Student Success Gallery later today just to think about ways that you can get involved if you're not involved, but also learn what your colleagues are doing. I think we have, 80 to 90 folks, faculty and staff and students involved in Guided Pathways efforts. So this is phenomenal. In closing, I want to, again, thank you for joining us today. If your colleagues aren't here, I hope they can watch the recording later. I'm excited to hear from students in the student panel, and I'm excited to hear from Dr. Paul Gorski. It's a really kind of career moment for me to actually have the opportunity to be part of the group welcoming him to Seattle Central. And as always, reach out to my office if there's things you think I need to know or ways that I can serve as a better president to all of you during this time. So I'll turn it back to Carolina, and thank you for the opportunity to speak today.
Thank you, Dr. Hardin. Just wanted to remind everybody, today's theme is everybody's business. And with Dr. Hardin, what you just said about joining and learning more about how we can take the lead in anti-racism and equity practices, that's kind of fits right in with it, right? Like let's just get in this business together to take the lead. That's the part that I'm taking away from your remarks. So thank you. So next is our student panel. So Dennis Denman is our wonderful facilitator of the student panel. And then we have a couple of students, right, Alice and Marie. So I'm gonna pass it on to you, and thank you so much for being here. And always, we always look forward to this part. This idea is my favorite part.
Awesome, can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome, great. Good morning, everybody. I'm putting on my wonderful eyewear because Dr. President Yoshiko has great eyewear today. So I thought we put our glasses on as well because we need to see. But yeah, good morning. Happy Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday. I'm here today with some great students. Happy coffee, wake up, get ready. It's going to be awesome. We have 2 students. We might have a third one pop in. We might. But these are students who I try to be intentional and get students that I don't work with every day. So this is funny, as students are very funny. I said, hey, you want to do this panel? And they're like, great, when? 9 o'clock. They're like, oh, Dennis, I don't get up that early for when we do have class, let alone when we don't have class. But we have some amazing students on the screen today. I'm going to give them a chance to introduce themselves while I do a little chat box to see if another student wants to join us. But yes, students, how you doing? Karina, Marie, how's it going? How you feeling?
Well, I'm doing well. I'm a little nervous, I'm gonna say, but I always am, so no big surprise there.
Don't be nervous. It's just a conversation. We're all friends and the whole school's watching. No pressure, no pressure. Karina, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm also really nervous, but yeah, I'm fine. Thank you.
It's just like another day on campus, except we're at home. Yay, being at home. Do you all want to introduce yourselves? Tell the campus a little bit about who you are. What are you studying? What do you do? All the things.
Sure. So my name is Alice Marie, or Marie, and I am a student trying to achieve my Associate of Business Associate's degree. I have an emphasis in global studies, and I'm trying to see if I can also apply an equity and social justice emphasis to the Associates of Business. So we'll see about that. Yeah, and I don't know, I used to be an international student. I'm from Canada. Yeah. Oh, and I'm the chapter president for Phi Theta Kappa at our college, and also a student that participates in ARC and TRIO.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You have already questions in the chat box. We'll get to the chat box. Karina, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Karina. I'm majoring in engineering, industrial engineering, and I'm in the process of transferring to a 4-year university to complete my degree. I am from Cuba, and I work for student leaderships, particularly SOURCE board. SOURCE stands for Student Organization Resources and Council. And there we work with clubs and plan activities for students. And yeah, I'm also part of TRIO program, MASA program. And yeah, that's pretty much about me. Thank you.
Awesome. All the programs, all the involvement, you all are rock stars. There was already a question. Marie, we saw you had some friends join you down there. Who are your fur animals? We could do professional development about fur animals all day. Who do you have with you?
Okay. This is Foxy. Oh, wait, Foxy, look. Okay. She's nervous too. No. Yeah, that is Foxy, my little Chihuahua mix.
Awesome. Good to meet your dog. We're going to jump into it. As much as I try to, I've been trying to figure out what do we call this? Unscripted, a little bit. It's somewhat scripted. But again, you all got a few questions ahead of time. I swear I'm going to stick to the script. I'm going to try. But we just wanted to check in, ask you all some questions because we're just curious. Again, you're on screen with faculty and staff for professional development, and we always love to hear from students. We did this in fall, and it was backed by popular demand. So thank you again for joining us. Our first question is simply, what is it like for you to be a student these days? We're kind of online, kind of at home, kind of in the building, kind of on our couch. How has it been for you all these days? Karina, you want to start?
Sure. I think I really enjoy being on campus. I like the socializing part and enjoying all the activities and getting to know some people, just being involved in the student life. But I'm actually liking the online part too, because I get to be at home and have done some stuff that I can get done while I'm at school. So I think I always try to look at the positive side of the situation. And yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And thank you.
Awesome. Marie, what about you?
I would say for last quarter, when everything was virtual, I had an easier time with classes and kind of managing meetings and things like that. But I had a hard time getting a whole lot of student participation in my groups. We did have participation for sure, and we accomplished a lot of things, but it was a real challenge to kind of build that motivation and kind of excitement. This quarter, I feel like it's so much more exciting to be, in person, and I can feel that excitement in the student groups that I'm involved with, but I'm struggling more academically this quarter when there's a class in person and then things shut down with all like student services. So this quarter has been in a way like more difficult for me to kind of manage the different platforms that everything is offered on. And for me, I'm also a commuter student, so each way it takes me 2 hours to get to campus. So that makes it, just really, challenging. I take a bus and a ferry and the link rail.
Oh.
So yeah, it can be challenging, but on the other hand, this year has been my most favorite year in college ever. So
what? That is awesome to hear. Tell us more about that. It's been challenging. It's been a little rocky. You're on a lot of transportation modes, but you also said this is kind of your best year. How so?
Absolutely, by far. I got involved in Phi Theta Kappa this year, and it just really changed my life, and it just brought in so much more involvement opportunities for me within the college. And I've been able to get connected with different departments and just have like opportunities. I feel like the opportunities are really flowing right now, and it's kind of like, okay, this is great, and trying to figure out how to manage all of them. And I've never just done this well academically and been involved all at the same time. So yeah, and part of that is because I just said it's hard to have like online and in person kind of conflicting, but having different platforms with the different online classes, like some online classes have pre-recorded lectures, so then I can manage my time easier. Some have, virtual lectures, and, I can like set aside time for that. And so it's just having all the kind of different ways. I've been really lucky. Outside of, I would say the service is shut down. I've been really lucky to have like a mix so that I can like manage it all. So
options. We like options a little bit, right?
Yeah.
We have a lot of options in this world. Karina, what about you in terms of how do you think things are going? Do you have options, or are you trying to manage, is my class online today, or is my in-person today, or where am I supposed to be? Is that you?
I think my classes are pretty much online this quarter. I started like in person, but then my classmates are more comfortable going online since this Omicron situation. So I don't think I have a lot of options. We are just online. But I'm fine with that. As I said, like I can have more time to do things, and yeah, that's fine with me.
Got it. We talked about how you all are doing. How do you think your classmates are doing? Do you think they're kind of in the same boat as you, or are they still engaged or not engaged? I know some folks are like now meeting on campus and studying, and again, that option. How do you think your classmates are doing?
As far as I can notice, I think like they are really busy with work and with school at the same time. And so I think that's why they prefer doing online classes, because they have more time to manage like their staff. And then, and also every time we talk about meeting in person, they say, no, okay, I prefer meeting online. So it's like, I think they are fine with the virtual modality. Yeah.
I would say I noticed that students are pretty stressed. Like this is a stressful time. And for me and like the other students that I've talked with, it's hard to always be, it seems like we're all like worldwide in this position of having to adjust really quickly to changes. And that just kind of adds like a certain level of anxiety to life. And so it's not just, the changes within our educational system, it's or programs, it's, everything's changing all around us too. And everything has different rules and everything has, like just things to adjust to. So I think generally from what I've seen, students are pretty stressed, although I am the person that's always asking them to do things. So maybe I get a lot of feedback because of that. But yeah, I would say it's, it's pretty tense out there, but I know for sure that the students I've talked with, some of them absolutely need online access to meetings. And so we're happy always to provide a hybrid format when we do in person. I would say about half the students are like, no, I want to stay online. And then half the students that I talk with are like, oh, I just want to be in person. And yeah, so.
Yeah, it does really feel 50-50. I think definitely offering that hybrid option for meetings is helpful. I don't know, like, for example, the student government students, we do most of our meetings online. And so now the building's open, we're like, oh, can we come back? And they're like, ooh, can we not? But again, some people are like, well, how about two of us stay in the office and everybody else stays at home? So just trying to figure out, navigate. But again, I think students like the option at least. Staff, I think similar boat. I think it's really 50-50. Some of us love it, some of us don't. I had to drive to work, sit in traffic. Who does that? Pack a lunch. When you're here, you just kind of roll on out and get it done. So yes, I hope that makes a little bit of sense. As we return to campus and kind of get back to what we think we know, what is something you both are looking forward to the most?
So, I mean, part of me doesn't want to lose the opportunity to take several online classes. So, so I don't know, it kind of scares me a little bit to return back to campus fully. But I think for me, I do miss, pre-pandemic, I was at Seattle Central, and it was just the incredible energy of walking through the hallways and like seeing all like the diversity. It's hard, sometimes to feel that online. And so, the main, for me, the central part of Seattle Central is the diversity. And that is like the number one reason to come to Seattle Central. And for me, that was a dream because I started college like 25 years ago in almost an all-white like Christian college in Southern Illinois in the Bible Belt. And so I used to dream like, is there a city where there's a diverse population and I could like be in classes and like talk about these issues? And at that time, like equity and social justice like was only for hippies, or I don't know, like you just didn't hear a lot of things. And so Seattle Central is a real dream come true for me. And I felt more of that interaction when we were all like around each other and like, in person. So I would love to get back to some of that. That would be pretty exciting.
Yes, that is amazing. We love that energy. Karina, anything for you as we return back to what we think we know? What are you looking forward to?
I think I would love to like really experience that student like in person student life, because I got to Seattle Central in the middle of the pandemic, so all I know is pandemic life. So I would like to experience like what does it feel like to be like in a school with everyone participating, and yeah, that's my kind of wish.
Yeah, we kind of have students at different points of this Seattle Central experience. A lot of students like you, Karina, got here in the pandemic, and this is like what we know, and you know, it's their version of normal. And then we have students like Marie who remembers what it used to be like, and so I think we're as the college, we're trying to also help meet you all where you are at. I was recently reminded that I too technically was hired in the middle or at the very early beginning of this pandemic. And so my experience is very like, yeah, I know hybrid meetings and I know how to hit the caption button and I should know how to get off mute, but I don't. I have learned to keep the computer charged. I used to die in all of these Zoom meetings because the laptop would not be charged. Now it is charged. My phone can't say that same. So I think we're all just kind of really navigating our student experiences, even professional experiences, keeping in mind that some of you started in the pandemic and this is what you know. And then we brought online that wonderful CTC link. Oh, here's an unscripted one. How's that CTC link going for you all so far? We always are curious.
Yeah, no problem with this CTC link. I mean, I always have an IT problem.
Okay, yeah.
I like to say I'm pretty allergic to technology, and my faculty, my PTK faculty advisor can, like, I'm sure attest to all of that, and he provides a lot of help. Without Nathan, we PTK would be struggling if we're just leaving it to me. So that's always, so I had a hard time, I think, just getting on CTC, like, or just adjusting to a new thing, and like, where is it and what does it involve? It looks really technical to me. So that's the impression I get. So I just found ways to get what I need to get, and so far it's working. I really like that I can run degree, I don't know if you call them degree audits. I'm like obsessively doing that all the time because I was trying to choose between Associate of Arts and Associate of Business. And I'm like, what should I do? In fact, I wanted to do both, but I found out I couldn't. So once I found out I couldn't do both, I was like, oh, I really need to decide. And it's just more comfortable for me to be able to access that information in the comfort of my home, so I can like really like think through it. And so yeah, it was pretty great.
Awesome. Karina, how's CTC navigating all that wonderful stuff for you?
I think I have like some problems. Like, for example, when I'm going to register and I have to pay, I have to use a different browser than the one I use. Like, I have to use a different computer. And I was going to get my unofficial transcripts and I couldn't in my browser. Like, I don't know why I had to use a different computer too. So yeah.
Okay.
Also.
Web, you know, Windows, I'm sure someone's working on it. Trust me, folks are taking notes in the background, I swear. We got excited when, well, at least I got excited when you were using the degree audit, Marie, because I think that is a game changer for us. So this is good that you're using it. And you it sounds like you actually really like it. So good.
Oh, can I also say one more thing about that? Before I couldn't, it didn't seem to me at least, and this could be me, but I couldn't do degree audit for equity and social justice emphasis. And now I think I can. And so, yeah, so I really appreciated that, because before it was just like, oh, if you just take all these classes, it gets like applied. But I don't know, as a student, I want to like see it in paper, like where am I at, you know, and what else do I need to accomplish? So.
That is awesome. This is great. It's a work in progress. Every day something is updated. I think on the weekends it gets updated. So we're still trying to figure it all out. Some of the chat box comments are saying, don't worry, you're not alone. We feel your pain. Ryan also offers a pro tip: turn off your pop-up blocker on your internet browser. And again, things that you don't think about until you need to like look for your unofficial transcript. So definitely, this is good feedback. Good feedback for sure. I don't know how we got here, but we did. And if memory serves me correct, I think we're at the year mark, maybe, since this thing turned on. Maybe, I don't know. So we survived. I think my last written question is always the magic wand question. As we try to close out, if you could make one wish, or you had a magic wand or unlimited anything, what is your wish for the college? Could it be a change or an improvement or whatever your heart desires? If you had a wand, what would your one wish or your magic, what would you do?
I think for me, will be like students get more involved in activities and like kind of like have more participation of them in events and activities. And I said this because like while we are planning all these activities for students at student leadership, it's always so hard to get them involved. And I know it's COVID and all that, so I think my wish will be like to have them more involved. And yeah.
You and me both. You and me both. I love it. Marie, what's your one wish for the college?
So my wish would be more availability to resources on campus. So it's like more meeting spaces available, like longer hours, like the library used to be open, like longer hours. And that for me, it would be just to have more availability to meet with students and study and, things like that for longer hours. I really, really miss that. I used to live in the library, basically.
Got it.
It was really actually fun to work on there was a strip of, there's a strip of computers, and they'd be facing each other in a line. And, I would always gather on those. I mean, just the feeling like, yeah, I'm in college and, I'm a part of it. And we always were able to like book study rooms and things like that. So my wish would be that I would just get to have more services available.
Amazing. These are great wishes. I think we're back on track. So I feel like these might turn into reality. As you all know, this is kind of, I think, and I took this joke from Scott Rickson, this week is kind of like our soft opening. Like we're figuring it out in terms of, oh, we're back. Oh, we're at home. Oh, we're back again on Thursday. And I think we're just kind of adjusting back to a, somewhat normal schedule. And then it's my hope that, hey, we're back. So hopefully we can get back to those study rooms. We know the student leadership building will be open. You all are already scheduling meetings already, and I'm not ready. But I think we're really just going to go forward with it. We're looking forward to spring quarter, as we all do. Spring is fun, fun at Seattle Central. And hopefully we can bring the energy, the excitement, and, all the safe, socially distance-ish things that we could do with spring quarter. Some of our returning events. We made a lot of noise in the BE building yesterday. It was awesome. Sorry to faculty on the third floor in culinary arts. I just it was loud, but it was great. It was awesome. I think the building needed that. We needed that. And so I think we're getting back on track. Anything else to add as we try to wrap up? Because somebody's going to tell me to shut up soon. Anything to add to hopes, dreams for the future, faculty, staff, administration, anything?
For me, I don't know, I think I've already talked about this, but just give a personal example. Because, who knows what the future holds. And I hope that everything goes back in person and, we can, but just in case something happens, when services like meeting rooms, like, the ARC. So as a student that uses the ARC, when I have in-person classes with tests and ARC shuts down, then I don't have a place to take my tests anymore. And I don't really know, and also, nor do I feel really comfortable like trying to traverse that, always. So, and we have I think life has changed in the way that we're always going to have Zoom meetings, even like forever now. So, having the ability, even as we go back in person, that students can have like access to meetings where they can, rooms that they can hold their Zoom meetings and can coordinate. Because for me as a student who, 4-hour round trip to go home, I can't easily just go to class and then, get back home and jump on Zoom. So truly, when there's no availability for rooms for me on campus, I can't do it. So
totally. Duly noted.
And I'll say thank you, Student Leadership Building, for showing me where I can hold some Zoom meetings, because I've been trying to figure that out. Like, how can I do all this and come to school? Because I, taking in-person classes, so I have to, come to school. So I really appreciate that.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything from you, Karina? Other wishes that we didn't do? Dreams, hopes for the future?
I think no. I think it was pretty much that. This is my very first college experience in the States, so I would love to get to know more how it feels to be normal or in school. So yeah, that was my wish. Thank you.
That's our hope. That's our dream. That's also our time. I'll add to say again, thank you again for giving this feedback. We're definitely taking notes. I think we're definitely rethinking space right after this call. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if, we install more kind of conference room, webcams, because now we're meeting students both in person and on Zoom. And I think we all know how helpful webcams are at this point of wherever we are. So again, thank you for just sharing just a little bit of your time and your student experiences with us. Again, I think there was an earlier comment, Marie, just thank you for your commitment to do this round trip. It's a lot. You've come a long way, literally, figuratively, to get an education at Seattle Central, as well as you, Karina. And so we're here to hopefully continue to support you all as students, whatever you all need. Most of our emails, we're one email away. I won't say that I'll get back to you that fast, but we're one email away. Someone's going to get back to you. And again, anything that you all need, definitely feel free to reach out. We know where you work, so that's the cool thing. I think I read all of the cool comments in the chat box. Thanks for everyone who's commenting and giving you all shout outs and kudos. It's hard to look at the chat box and then pay attention. Foxy gets a 4.0 apparently, so congrats to Foxy. And again, you all are amazing student leaders. So with that, that is my time. That is our time. I think Desiree said this is Seattle Central Breakfast with Dennis. I don't know. Yes. We're going to call it.
I love it.
Breakfast Club or something. I don't know. So this is fun. We'll hope to see a few more students on our next PDD very, very soon. So back to you all. See you later.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Alice Marie. Thank you, Dennis. I think I love this. I was reflecting as you were all speaking, and we are all here because of it. We want your success, right? And so it's so important for us to hear from you and to hear about your experiences. And I was taking lots of notes. And Alice, I hear you so much in the constant shifting and changing your plans, and how you cannot really plan a week in advance. You kind of go on a day-to-day basis. So I'm taking that to heart in terms of what that means for the classroom and the students. So thank you for sharing that. And Karina, I really hope that you will be able to experience a full college life soon. You have been, but I hear you. So I wish you all well, and thank you so much for being here. It's really, really a treat to have you here. So we're gonna take a break. We're gonna be back right at 10 to hear from Dr. Paul Gorski. So just get some coffee, some tea, stretch, anything you need to do, and we'll be back at 10 sharp. Okay, thank you. There we go. Thank you so much. Everybody's loving the playlist. So Jesse, I think you're gonna have to share it because we're loving it. We're dancing, talking, and yes, Alyssa, your superpowers are endless. Okay, so welcome back. I hope you got a nice break. I danced a little bit, and it always restores and refills my cup. Not that I need it filled right now. This student panel was awesome.